Okay, guys, so here in this particular tutorial, we'll learn how to open an image on Photoshop. Okay, so now that we have the canvas set and it's filled with white color, which is good to go, we are going to import, or let's say open a file onto Photoshop. So I have a file that I have on my computer. So I'll go to File and then I'll click on Open, and then it will show me a bunch of files that I've stored on my computer. So let's say I select this one and I click open. Okay. So you see Photoshop has now opened that image as a separate tab right on top. That's the name of the file and that's the extension. It's a JPEG file and that's the zoom level. Okay. So now that Photoshop has opened the file, the issue is that this is on a separate file itself, but our canvas is on a separate file. So what we need to do is to copy or move this particular image into our canvas for us to edit it. So we can do that a couple of ways. How we can do that is basically using the move tool. We go to the toolbar and we select the move tool. Now that it's selected, I just click on the image and then just drag it all the way to the tab of my canvas, and then I just drop it on my canvas. Okay. Now, as I drop it, Photoshop is warning me that the target document has a different color depth than the source of the document. What does that mean? That means that the file that we created has a different document depth, which is 300 ppi versus the other one, which had 72 ppi. So there's a difference in the ppis. So it's warning us that there's a difference. Are you still willing to open it? And I am giving it permission and saying yes. And then you see the file is, the image is now copied over to my canvas, but it's too large for the canvas. It's just filling up completely and then overextending right on outside. And you can see this blue line here indicates that's the edge of the image. So let me first zoom out, which we learned previously, and then you will see how large that particular image is on this canvas. It's pretty large, right? So how do we resize this particular image to fit into our canvas? So first, we will see that the image is now in its own layer here. Okay, so which is good, and the layer is selected. For that, for resizing, we will use something called as transform tools. Okay, we have to learn how to use transform tools, and you can activate a transform tool by selecting that particular layer and then pressing Command T or Control T on your computer. And that way it'll create like this blue border with nodes at the sides, which indicates now that the image is transformable. And then you go to the edge of the screen, you'll see that the pointer has changed. You go to the edge of the image, the pointer has changed, and you can press Shift and just click and drag this particular image downwards. All right. Okay. Hold on. I'm just gonna redo this. I'm just gonna click and drag. I'm not pressing Shift right now. I'm just gonna click and drag, and then Photoshop will automatically keep the dimension of height and width, and it won't skew the image. Okay. And then I click and drag this particular image into the center. I can position it wherever I want to, right there. Now I'm going to zoom in and see that the image is now perfectly aligned within the canvas. And once you have done the transformation or the resizing, go ahead and press enter, and that should remove the border that existed on the image. Okay. And so, yeah, this is how you open an image and then import it into the canvas.